The thing that scares me about this game is that they're going for this CK against the DK lane and having that Jakiro. So it's really important, in my opinion, that this IO relocate actually finds the Jakiro in the early fights until the CK has BKB. Like, CK just cannot ult if there's like Ice Path plus Macrofire available. All of the illusions will die even if he's pretty farmed. So as long as they take their fights well and Paxu is eliminated, I can see their draft actually scaling much more than goonsquad later on.
Fair enough. Since we talk about scaling, actually, can we talk about the Void for a second? Because we've seen a couple of Voids before, variety builds. What do you think is the build for the Void this game? Does he concentrate more on the Chronos, or does he go for the quote-unquote, like the Sanjin Yasha, I will live forever, time-walking Void?
I think he has to go Maelstrom BKB this game. You know, maybe a Mask of Madness, but I think if he chronos out BKB and unless he's chronoing the same king every fight, he's gonna get Burrow Stroke Epicenter into a blast, and I think he just dies. So I feel like after BKB, then he can definitely go lots of routes. I think Scotty looks pretty good, right? You have the Zio heal as well as the Necro, maybe a Nullifier later on. It's not bad against the Necro as well.
Okay, Hanskin. Caught J4 once. Oh, now Otakar as well. Dual breath for J4, but that's not going to be enough. By the way, in case you guys are not aware, Otakar, he is aesthetically a stand-in. He has played with the team before. He's not going to be playing. He's going to play instead of Bill, who was the carry that played with him this season. Bill, usually the British guy that ITV tries to support. Otakar is a carry that last played for Siberian, from what I can remember. Probably got brought here by J4, who is also from that Eastern European side.
Yeah, that's the second game he's actually subbing, which kind of leads me, is this actually, like, did they, or is he out of the team? Or is he, like, sick with some life problems or something? That got me really curious.
Could be that he's just been out of the team, straight up, right?
Yeah.
When it's the last 3-4 games this season, teams tend to do this where they like make a change, right? See how it works out. It's hard to tell. That's why I'm saying it's not the first time he subs, but in case people are not aware of him, it's cool. And Siberian is a team that usually at Kazakhstani players, it's had a lot of those, and they even have like 2 Siberian seed teams. It's kind of crazy, but Urker is fully Russian, so that's going to be interesting to see.
Very nice. Let's see how he performs. I do feel they won the last game that he subbed. So,
yeah, right. That's a really good sign, right? And not a good sign for Bill, though. Unfortunately, Bill's just praying. He's like, please lose, please lose.
Let me show my value again. But yeah, so far, this bottom lane here, pretty this is the dream scenario for Necro. I think a lot of times when we see Necro struggle, the hero is being second phase. I think he is usually much better as a last pick, 23rd, 24th. And we already see how this IO is going to enable him quite a bit. There's not that much. They even laned the Jakiro bottom. I was not expecting that. And I still feel like it's not enough damage for them to do anything.
Yeah. One of the difficulties of laning the Jakiro against any sort of healing lineup... Oh, sorry. As its Hanskin actually dies in the top lane. One of the difficulties of doing that is that, of course, you have a lot of DOT, but the constant healing of the IO Necrophos usually out-heals your damage over time. And that puts the Jakiro in a really weird position because he's supposed to be this lane-dominating support that kicks you out of lane, but can't really do that against Necro and IO, even though he's technically pretty good against Necro.
Yeah. There is a window where, this Void with the time dilation could do a lot of damage. Maybe if they play too cocky on this IO plus Necro, we could see a kill. But overall, I feel like this is going to be cruise time for Chessie. And that's always scary. A Necro with lots of items just really allows them to create this wall and relocate with the CK to land very nicely.
Yeah, and particularly for Chessie, who also, if people remember, used to play in that mid position. He really knows how to take advantage of this offlane. He's very much those offlaners that can be a win condition for the team. He's used to doing that. He's pretty comfortable with it.
In terms of the mid lane here, in terms of net worth, actually pretty good for the co-op, but the Sand King... He will recover, just get a couple of stacks for this bad boy and he'll be fine.
Yeah. Limp, of course, though, in his best position, though, which is he has a good lane matchup, right? It's when Limp is scariest, and that's something guys have to be really careful about. It's something a lot of teams try to beat goonsquad in, trying to get a good lane matchup against Limp, because otherwise the guy just takes over the lane completely, and you can kind of see it. When this guy gets a good lane matchup, he destroys you. He's the kind of guy that you should know is a Viper player because of his positioning, right?
Yeah, he's definitely making the Sand King not look very menacing right now.
No.
Yeah, he's gonna have to stack for himself. Maybe ask for help in the next rune. Which, you know, it's not great, but Sand King is one of those heroes that can recover, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, at least so far.
Look at the top lane where that was the first blow that happened. It feels like DK can be fine this lane, but the Winter Wyvern might just be fodder here, right? Against the CK plus AA.
Yeah. The thing that's surprising me this lane, though, is that Otakir is very far behind. Like, I don't think S4 should be farming this much. Sure, they fed a kill, but S4 is giga farmed.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Breathe Fire against CK is honestly a really big deal. This guy relies on having a really huge base damage. His attack animation is kind of bad for being a melee hero, and he relies on just on this massive punch. Breathe Fire really takes that away from him. On top of that, S4 can stun him really easily. Otakar can't really punish that. I really do think DK is a general counter to CK. I'm surprised they picked it.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I was not fond of their draft. They felt like they could still make it work, so we'll see. I mean, if there's one thing working for them is this bottom lane. Paxu very low, could even be chased down here. Oh, Tanner's gonna be blocked by Creep. Gotta be careful.
Yeah. Paxu, he's dealing as much damage as he can, and he has brought Tanner down to like a third of his HP, which is not bad. But Liquid Fire usually protects the Jakiro by reducing the attack speed, obviously. Not going to protect him here, because Necrophos doesn't need attack speed. Necrophos just kind of kills you by walking towards you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, Paxu. Paxu sees an opportunity. He's going for Tanner. Tanner's the target, and they do get a nice time lock there, which guarantees the kill. Aqua realizes that that time lock is only going to give him a little bit of HP back, but he's going to retreat.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of an overextension by the IO. There's an Orb of Venom on Aqua, so as long as he got the hit off, there was not going to be like feather to another unit. Nothing was close. So a little bit of a mistake, but they still at least get the victory kill in return. Chessie feeling pretty happy.
Yeah. I do think that Jakiro dying for kills here right now is not too... Like, it's pretty good overall. Because you're just giving the void space every time you die like this. And now he has the opportunity to go for Chessie. There we go. Paxu starting to attack Chessie. Really nice base attack damage at the Jakiro. Gotta respect it. Also, a big model, which allows him to block, get the Ice Path off. What a nice play by Paxu. And this is why I always get excited when I see this guy play Jakiro. Just nice plays all around, man.
Yeah, really great play by Beck. So they're blocking the large camp. Usually, if your support rotates to the mid lane because they refilled the bottle, you just want to pull for yourself. He got impatient. He's like, I can't really farm. There's no way for me to deal with the creep equilibrium. Just forced it a little bit too much, and they identified it on goonsquad. Very nicely done.
As a reward, he gets one bounty rune. He asks his mid laner, can I take the 2? And the mid laner says, yes, do not worry. I got this lane under control. And indeed he does. 27 last right now over the Sand King.
Wow, dude, that's a little bit too much. Wow. Does have a stack right now, so that's gonna feel good for ADZ. But this is worrisome. When the matchup goes this out of control, I think Limp is gonna look really good. Which I felt like he actually had a decent amount of counters, but you know, if he just finishes a very quick Kaya Sunch, then the Burrow Strike and the Chaos Bow doesn't look as powerful. Top lane, Otakir being pressured.
Yeah, but they don't have a stun, so SDP is going to be successful. S4 says, alright, I'll go for J4 instead, but J4 quickly hiding underneath the cover of the trees. Good cold embrace to continue pushing. S4 says, where are you going, J4? But, you know, Ice type is scary for dragons. S4 is a bit more vulnerable. He uses fire to try to get J4 out of his hiding spot, but instead decides the tower is more valuable. Down bottom, by the way, the Chrono gets used. It's going to be for Chessie, the dual breath on top of this. Io's healing Chessie a fair amount, but it's not going to be enough, and Tanner himself could be in trouble. But Charlie will let Tanner leave.
Yeah, they're just being outplayed in this
Limp wants ads, though. Yeah, Limp wants ads. He has a blink. He missed the Scream of Pain, but it's all good. He still has Sonic Wave. Okay, he misses that one too. It's okay. It's all good, guys. He had double damage. He was just trying to show off there. Or taunt him, I guess. Not really show off.
I wish ads were as entertaining as what we just watched. That was really nicely done by Limp right there. Even
I mean,
missing
well,
that,
I don't know if nicely done would be the words I'd use for that play, but
he got the kill in the room. That's all a
Right.
support hero, a mid hero can ever wish for. He's struggling with mana a little bit here, but he'll get the stack. I think it's a really good start. And this could even be a game where we'll see him going for a different type of build because he's super far ahead. He could definitely snowball out of I don't know, we'll see what he decides. Probably gonna be Kaya.
no. Kind of
Jesse?
scary to think that he's gonna be able to. Jesse on bottom. They're going for Tanner first. Tanner from high school's dead. Chessie trying to now outrun them, but Charlie's overvenom that you mentioned earlier, kind of scary. Dual Breath now slowing down Chessie. It is level 3 on Dual Breath, but Ads is coming from behind. He does have the epicenter. Now with the Reaper Scythe, it's going to turn this around. Charlie's dead. Pexu could be in trouble himself. Another round of Dual Breath just to try to slow down the enemy, but the enemy cannot be deterred from it. Yes, they can, actually. That was really quick. They gave up super easily.
Yeah, they don't know where the cop is, and she is actually in the base. So that was a good read from Into the Breach. That's a nice recover. I think Chessie might be forcing to some sort of dispel item this game. The time dilation is hurting much more than I actually anticipated. He just can't get enough death pulses off. And like he also doesn't want to get gold shot because he's against the Jakiro. So really his skill build gets very weird. There's no points that he actually wants to learn just because everything from the Void is good versus him.
That's true. It's kind of weird, right? Because Void, the time dilation made so a lot of matchups that Void used to struggle against, now he's kind of good against, just with the single point in time dilation.
Yeah.
So it's a very frustrating situation.
You even see Void's like only getting 1 point of it, getting stats, and learning time dilation way afterwards, because the value point on it got much better after the latest patch.
No, it's true. There's some little bit of damage there. As Tanner's now going to be soloing the Void. We have a chrono possible, so Tanner has to be careful here. In the mid lane, S4 started to rotate, try to put some pressure, but S4 forgot to take his own tower first. He did deal damage to the mid lane, but maybe take top before you rotate mid.
Yeah, they will be able to deal with the catapult in top lane as Otokar, and the Blink Dagger on the Sand King is going to be ready once he has the Epi. So I would really like to see them rotate towards Aqua's lane. I think that is by far the hero they're most afraid of. Sure, Quap could be killed, but she's very mobile. I think it's much harder. It's much easier for her to blink, and then you cannot chase. Whereas the time walk isn't too much of range. So even if you get a time walk off, he could still die. We'll see what they'll do, where they'll rotate. SC also has the Reaper side, so I want to see this Sand King play alongside Necrophos, whatever lane he chooses to do.
Yep. As currently to play, looking to just recover a little bit, as you said, and probably going to play around this Blink Dagger. Wonder if they'll smoke on this. I think they should.
Just shows the blink, so not very promising right now.
Yeah, it's not very promising, you're right, but I guess at this point you look at Sand King, he's at brown boots for 12 minutes, you probably assume, yeah, he'll have blink at this point, right? I think that's what Ads is thinking.
Very true. They do smoke under no vision. They also have a blast, so I guess they don't need the Reaper side as long as the A blast hits. They do identify where the Void is. Can they actually blind hit the burrow strike? Oh, he actually TPs.
It's a bit difficult when he TPs, right? That's not that
you
long.
You don't
a range
have that
on the
much
burrow
cast
strike.
range. Yes, that is very true.
I'm glad we both thought of the same dumb comment to make, Bowie. That shows that we've been casting together for long enough.
Oh yeah,
Maelstrom
I'm very
is
dumb
be
too, so you can always expect me to think of the dumbest things.
I mean, we are both casters, right? Otherwise, if we had intelligence, we wouldn't be doing this. Pexu is in trouble himself. He is going to be killed instead of the Void, so Pexu wasn't aware this was happening. But definitely not the best kill for the Blink Dagger reveal. It's just a 5. It's okay.
At least they don't use Epi. That's a good sign. You know, they don't feel that pressure to use the spell. They do lose top. They don't really have the heroes right now to pressure bottom, so I don't even mind that they're not doing too much about that. I think they have to wait for the 15-minute catapult. Ideally, smoke a little bit before that happens, win a big fight. As long as they're not losing important heroes, it's okay.
And we have Sonic Wave available to Limp if he wants to finish off J4, but Limp is going to hold on to it for now. Ads, he's been stunned, and now Sonic Wave will allow them to finish him off. The Ancient Apparition will make out of here scot-free, though. But they did sacrifice their mid laner for this. Limp showcasing the Orchid. What an old build for an old player.
Yeah, I like it. I think usually it's not a good build, but if you are far enough ahead, it can definitely be good. So, identifying there's not going to be any U-Scepter anytime soon on the Sand King. He's also going for Travels. Oh boy.
Oh, they did find the Necrophos. And with the Orchid, I think Necrophos will probably die to that Soul Burn. No need, actually. Just get him with auto attacks. See, Limp has just decided today that his casting skills are like not really that great, so he's just gonna go for a full auto attacking build, just physical damage club.
Yeah, I don't mind this at all. He's just destroying this game. Solo carrying. Not a. Did we had a Chronosphere? I think maybe one. But
yeah, we just won in the bottom lane. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been the sole space creator so far. I mean, they bring a couple of heroes, but the tower is already dead. So
Yep.
problematic. I feel like they have to go for another smoke into the bridge. They're getting too far behind. They need to use this relocate. They need to play the Sand King and the A together, or else this is gonna be out of hand. They don't even have to use Chrono to get this mid tier 1 tower. It's a pretty bad sign for Into the Breach. And for my casting career after predicting they had a chance.
I told you, man, you were kind of digging a hole for yourself. I don't think it's even the fault of Into the Breach. It's just Goon Squad has been kind of outclassing enemies left, right, and center in this division. They just look like a really strong team. And they're motivated. They seem hungrier now as well. Every interview we have with them, they talk about, like, they have a very clear process as to how to win these games. It seems like they're taking a nice chill pill. They have the right amount of hunger without going into the anxiousness and nerves that they might have in Div 1.
Definitely looking like that so far. We do see the smoke we talked. But, I mean, catapults... I guess they're still catapult. Let's see if they can they do a move. The problem, in my opinion, is that Necro's showing mid. I think they should probably play with him instead of separate their resources. They're already pretty far behind. Oh.
Okay, he was baiting the bounty room, but decided against it as Limp came by, and Limp apparently is too scary for ads.
Oh my lord.
Oh no, ads. Oh, and they even used the relocate for this. Oh.
Cringe. That was a little bit cringe. I mean, it's not his fault. They are far behind. He feels forced to go for plays like this, but they need a better vision. That ward just doesn't cut it for what they wanted to do.
It's also because he took the bounty rune, right? And you know, the Queen of Pain can assume. I mean, I don't think she saw that because nighttime vision, but she can assume, like, there's no bounty. My teammates didn't take it.
He didn't have vision of the club, so it's okay, right? You can't really know that she's like a millimeters away from the bounty, but still feels really bad.
Limp is gonna be burned to death now. They did go for a smoke, so Limp technically, sorry, J4 got burnt away. J4 technically tanked the smoke there, so not that bad. Honestly, position 5 for a smoke, not really worth it. But it's currently ITB who needs to get kills.
And the CK has to be careful because they can set this up with a Winter's Curse.
Yeah, they don't even need it. They got the Dragon's Tail, a Dragon Ball on top of that, the Orchid, and that's gonna be a dead Otakar. A poor man. He got the pincer maneuver.
What's the name? Wait, it's not Otakar, it's Otakar, right? The food brand? Am I crazy? Like they make like cereal and stuff?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of that brand before.
What? Dr. Oetker?
Oh, Edgar. Edgar.
Oh, okay, yeah. English-speaking people. Jesus.
It's not how it's spelled, though. So.
No, I know. I just joking. I tried to
I'm
make...
not sure.
I
low presume
reward
it's
joke.
Otakar.
Low reward joke.
Okay, alright. Much like the plays here by ITB who are not really yielding them any rewards. So what are their plays now, Boy? What, like, they try with this hunting squad. Do they have to commit more resources into this hunting squad? Does the Necrophos have to join? Does he just have to bite the bullet and stop farming?
I think he's not farming. I feel like Into the Breach is not playing into him. Like, Necros is the slowest hero that they have, right? Because the CK at least has the IO to relocate him. But the only way you're going to be able to actually have all 5 heroes in the lane is follow the Necro. Because he is going to be... You're going to waste more time if he has to run to whatever lane they want to be. You know, don't want to 5-man smoke most of the time. It's like very obvious into this level of Dota.
Oh.
Hello.
Peksu. Okay, there's a relocate though to try to help him, but the relocate's... sorry, trying to get the kill on Peksu. But the relocate doesn't actually yield any more kills. I think that they thought they were going to save Peksu there, but obviously he's a 5, so not going to commit too many resources.
Yeah, and maybe
2 wasted reload already. Oh, and they also find Necrophos in the mid lane. Jesse was just walking around, and as you said, slowest hero, and ITB easily killed as well.
Oof, that's such a G-bait game for Chessy. You know, he was having a really good lane, and he felt like he could get away without going U Scepter and getting the greedier Dispel item on the Lotus later. But I really feel like the early Orchid from Limp. Obviously, if Limp doesn't have that much good of a game, he could have probably get away with what he's doing. But the Orchid just broke the ankles of Into the Breach. It's such a hard game for them to play when Klopp is that far ahead.
Yeah, I agree. That's why we don't see this build anymore, because as we always talk about, the mid lane matchup usually doesn't go this far in one person's favor. But in this case, Limp just kind of tore through the lane. I didn't think the Sanking matchup was going to be very good for the Sanking, to be honest, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I thought he'd at least recover with some stacks.
Yeah, also because there were not that many kills in lanes, there was not a lot of like support TPs to fill the Sanking bottle. Like a lot of times, if the supports die, it's kind of good for the mid hero because he just get that free refill. But ADZ didn't have that. Also, I think he was a little bit greedy with the salves. He only bought one. Okay.
Not even using that Dragon form just yet, but they're gonna hit him with the Ice Blast. S4 is actually going to die here. Macro Power manages to finish off Chessy as Ads tries to TP away. The Ice Path will stop him from doing so. Ads will also fall. So at least they get 2 for 1 here, as we still have the Chrono here on Charlie, and he finds the enemy carry, but the Cold Feet is gonna be a nuisance. Tanner is trying to get him with a relocate. He will succeed. Charlie realized a bit too late and didn't get a time lock in time to stop that relocate charge. I'm gonna settle for this kill on the IO. Should be kind of easy.
Maybe fight the AA.
They do find the AA for free. Limp just got him in the side lanes. Otakar can't really do much to save him.
Yeah, this is... They got outplayed in the lanes. I think the only lane that got decent was the Necrophos, but the itemization that he ended up going for didn't suit his playstyle. There were definitely still plays that they could have gone for, but I don't think they played really well around Chessy this game. He was standing still mid for a long time. They never really collapsed there. Instead, they tried to go for, I guess, less obvious plays, smoking into the lane where the Necro was not there. But they never got good kills, right? I think they only killed Jakiro twice. They killed Jakiro bottom, and then Jakiro close to Roche pit. So the farming speed from goonsquad was never affected at all.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really seem affected at all this game by any of the plays by ITB. Like, has there ever been a play by ITB that's put goonsquad at least to answer them? It feels like goonsquad's had held control of this game the whole time.
I would agree. This could be the first one. They're trying to get this bottom tier 1 tower. They're gonna bring 5 heroes, which you really need if you don't get this tower this late into the game. They might just give it up, trade for Roche. They do draw on the other side of the map. It's totally okay for goonsquad. They don't care. They're still out farming. Once they are this far ahead, I don't think they have any scaling problems. And Aqua does join the pit, even without Chrono. So slightly greedy, but probably doable considering how far ahead they are.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to bait goonsquad into like one of those plays that you talked about. Like S4, I mean, think about it. They've played every single game of this division. Every single game has been from playing from a far ahead lead, right? They got used to it, and playing from far ahead is actually not that easy sometimes. You have to make sure not to make misplays, not to give the enemy team any wins, like any small victories, right? So goonsquad now is so used to this that their patience is kind of unparalleled here in Division 2. They're not going to give any chances to ITB. When we watched them against Winter Bears, it was the same. Like, there were moments in the early game where Winter Bears had a chance, but once the mid game hit, goonsquad just outclassed them in the macro game.
Yeah, like when you think about it, bears are probably the most patient animals. They hibernate for so long, and still, goonsquad looking very patient. But this could be a move that
you're killing me.
I'm sorry. This could be a good move. They have the 3 heroes that needed to be smoked in the right place. They have relocate.
Oh, Peksu.
If it's gonna work, it's gonna be this.
Okay, yeah, they did kill Peksu, but the relocate on top of that. S4 maybe stayed a bit too long. Relocate will catch him this time, Otakar. Otakar, so close. They got it. S4, Phantasm on top of that. The Ice Blast doesn't hit. It doesn't really matter, though. Or it does, because the Chrono might just save him. They're killing the IO on the side lanes. Limp at his big need for this. S4 is lasting through all of this because the Ice Blast did not hit him. And that was the key they needed to kill this Dragon Knight, which means they're capable of destroying 4 heroes in ITB. Only AA shamefully walks back here. Sad that he couldn't really finish off his 4. Beautiful Chrono by Charlie, though.
Yeah, it was very nicely done. It's just Into the Breach. They're too far behind. They didn't use that many resources to get the kill. At the end of the day, it was just the AA blast with a burrow strike, so that's good. But like ADZ just dying this fast makes it impossible, because if he actually casts the epicenter with burrow strike, S4 was definitely dead. He could have even used that once the chrono got used, but they're too far behind, and the fights it's just inevitable. Gonna have to outplay a team that seems very hard to be outplayed in Division 2.
Yeah, it's very difficult to outplay goonsquad. Ever.
Yes.
This team, honestly, we started from day one, but it seems like they've always just belonged to Division 1.
And they're making a pretty good case for it. In terms of the Roshan, Void is the one that picks it up. He even gets Lincolns after the BKB. So usually I would say they like damage, but they're so far ahead that Aqua is like, as long as I have my Lincolns and I don't die, we're Gucci. Pop is Oni, and she definitely is. Like, it's very hard to see a Maelstrom Void be this far behind a Quap at 25 minutes into the game.
Just the amount of farm on Limp is kind of ridiculous. He himself has his own Lincolns. And to the point of the Void, because you're so far ahead and you can decide when to take fights, you pretty much can always fight when Chrono's off cooldown. And if Chrono's off cooldown and you reach that level 20, you get the 120 attack speed. Not much else is needed really to fight in Chrono. Charlie? He's like, I'm gonna kill ads. I don't need vision. I am gonna kill him. They finally dropped the sentry there, but Charlie realizes this was crazy, and he just has the TP in time. And instead, Textu is gonna pay for this. So Chessie will get a little bit of regen off that.
Now relocate is gonna be
S4.
fast.
Oh, yeah. Now they know there's 2 heroes that are missing. S4 is looking for something more valuable than J4 though.
Lotus
He's
though.
looking for Chessie. That's a good Lotus Orb. They're not really afraid of it.
Oh.
Maybe they should, because she just silenced herself and they take advantage of this. Nope. BKB will completely cancel his counter initiation as they get the 2 kills they were looking for. Limp, for a quick second there, looked like he was about to die, but Limp is truly immortal.
That was too greedy. If that was any other hero, I think they could have gotten the kill, but with no Reaper sight, I think they should have just disengaged. That was a little bit too over-eager into the breach. Still, they killed the
maybe not
hero.
use the Reapers.
Yeah, they have used it, so they couldn't.
No, I know. If I say maybe don't do that, because I don't know how much the extra regen stacks are valuable to you right now.
I mean, you're that far behind, man. You're gonna take whatever shows up. You're just hungry, and I don't blame them at all. But when you look at the deaths this game, 5 out of the 8 deaths, or I guess 8 kills on the side of Into the Breach came from the Jakiro. So that's very disheartening.
I mean, now we know who's going to get kicked in the next season. It's easy. It's all Pex's fault, really. Yeah, oh my god. Is there a coincidence he's the only Finnish player on this team? I think not, guys. Limp. Okay, S4 is actually going to be the one charging in. Otakar, nice. Good use there of the Phantasm to avoid this. S4 got tricked. He activates the BKB just in case. J4 does get killed by Limp in the backlines. They know he's around here, but they're not going to force this too hard. I don't know what that BKB, what he was trying to stop there, but me thought Sanking was in the sidelines. As Charlie himself also uses BKB. He has Chrono, but no level 20, so he might be lacking the damage, uses it anyway. Deciding Io's probably the easiest target to kill, but still difficult. There the Macropyre finally hits, but it's a bit too late to get any actual damage done.
Good patience from Into the Breach. There's obviously Aegis there. You don't want to commit your Reaper sight. So I think that's actually good that they don't overcommit for the Void. They would definitely die once the other heroes connected. That's really their path into this game. They have to wait the Aegis out. It does feel like they're able to connect the fights a little bit better. The early game for them was a mess. I think the positioning from goonsquad, but also the hastiness on Into the Breach didn't really allow them. But now, they might. I'm sure they can kill, the Jakiro and the Wyvern. That's how they have to initiate these fights. Use the relocate. You have to kill the Wyvern first, because it's way too much safe, and then try and transition to the other kills.
Yeah, but it's difficult, right? Because the Wyvern's constantly being protected by a plethora of stuns and silences. That's like they're not just tanky, they're heroes that also can stun you, can use the chrono here. It's very difficult to get a kill on the supports, except for the Jakiro, who's always the frontliner.
You can split them up though. I think they're doing a good job of always bringing S4 to this bottom side of the map. Yeah, if you're 5 versus 5, obviously it's gonna be pretty much impossible for Into the Breach to take this. But if they can split a couple of heroes up, they have lots of mobility on the Squap and the Void, so they're bound to try and push a couple of waves, be a little bit far away. And if they can identify and actually explore that, look at bottom. There's only 2 heroes, so there is potential for a play here as long as they find out that Handscan is behind. Maybe if he casts the Splinter Blast in the lane. Oh, they're gonna know!
Okay.
Oh, they don't, actually.
Okay, now this should be quite obvious if there's someone hiding in the trees, right? Hanskin doesn't check, though. Instead, they're just gonna find the Ancient Apparition, who walks towards them.
Huh.
And he's gonna die. No need for the Fireball, even. That's just the Cloak of Flames doing the trick.
Interesting. Yeah,
Weird.
That was very weird. Okay. They'll cut some waves bottom as that happens. They do have to relocate out. They're actually only showing Tanner so far. Yeah, this I mean, not promising.
I guess they do cut mid, at least with this play, but a lot of wasted time for the CK, who's still behind the Queen of Pain, let alone the Void.
Yeah, that's a 16-0 limp pop.
Oh. And about to become 17, it seems like. Oh, no! Nice relocate. Saving his life. Tanner will have to sacrifice himself for this.
I wouldn't take this fight, actually. I think it's going to be the best.
Yeah?
There's no Aegis.
Pexu's been left behind. Once again, it seems like Pexu's going to be the one they go on, but Pexu manages to get the high ground in time.
Rough. Goon squads, they're not giving any openings for Into the Breach. Every time it feels like they could maybe get one thing out, they get outplayed.
Nope. I mean, I get that they're so conservative with these plays, right? Like the fact that Jakiro just goes to the high ground, you only see 2 heroes. It makes sense that you don't want to chase. But if you just had a little bit more confidence, you would actually be okay to chase that kind of play and kill Jakiro for the 9th time or for the 6th time.
They go for a pretty weird smoke here. They actually drop a ward into the lane, and they're expecting this move. Let's see if it works out. There is a sentry for this Void.
Oh, just activates the BKB. We do
good.
hear a Phantasm, but I think A is dead. Okay, J4 will sacrifice himself for Vision, and there they go for the Winter Wyvern. It's an opportunity like you talked about. Immediately, they try to save the Winter Wyvern with some healing, but the Reaper Scythe will cut right through that. As Aqua is forced to retreat here, call for retreat. The Lincolns will actually save his life there as they use the Chaos Pull before the Reality Rift. That's going to allow him to go and TP back home.
Yeah, I actually would be really fine with the play as long as they didn't use the Reaper Scythe. I feel like now, even though Chronosphere is on cooldown, they don't have the damage to do anything, but they're going to be engaged here.
Okay. Limp tries to catch Otakar. The Ice Path also misses, but Otakar's been slowed now, and without the IO, how is he going to survive? There's the help from the IO, just so the TP can complete. Tanner will have to die for this. But, okay, Tanner will not die for this. Once again, they stop chasing. Halfway through, they decide to go for ads instead. Well played by Tanner. Really good mech there. Otherwise, that was a dead CK.
Yeah. Good positioning. I really like how they're trying to... You're gonna have to somehow fight in your own terms, and they were able to set up these lane wards that were not addressed by Goon Squad. So they're actually taking really good fights despite being this far behind. It's a nice way to... Because usually if you try and fight in the high ground, the team that is winning will always have advantage or won't fight at disadvantage locations. But you don't expect so much good vision in a lane. So I think they baited that play really well. The problem is, they're still not taking enough. Like, that Reaper Side being used on the Wyvern feels so bad for Into the Breach. They would love to have a little bit more, maybe a core kill, Limp. He is worth a lot of money if they can somehow find that pop.
Right, but that's what you said. Like, they have to do so many things, and they have so little sources of damage. Like, the CK has to be able to hit. I guess Otakar now with a heart might be able to stand these fights a bit better. But even in that last engagement where he just TP'd in front of the enemy, he almost died to the damage alone of Limp and... of just really Limp in the DK.
Yeah, I mean, Quap used to fall down a lot more than she does nowadays. With this draft, you know, 2-3 years ago, you could have said that maybe this Quap was not going to scale, but he has so many kills, and this new version of Quap so good that that's just not going to happen. Limp is still doing a lot of damage in these fights, even though there's a hard on CK.
I also think that, honestly, even 2-3 years ago, the Quap would have scaled if with as many kills as you said. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous, right? Back then, you would have gone for, like, AC Mjolnir, remember? When that was the build on Quap in the late game?
Those were the days. That was beautiful. Wait, DZ actually does cape Aqua or Charlie. Didn't want to use the Chronosphere for that kill. Not surprised that I mean, Into the Breach they're really using these lane shoving heroes and the global ability of the IO to keep splitting up the map for goonsquad. Like, their late game siege is pretty bad. It's only the DK Void, even for as farmed as he is, doesn't really do that much damage to towers. So they always feel kind of forced as goonsquad to address whatever it is the Into the Breach is doing instead of maybe roaching or, well, as I say, that they do get roach, but they didn't really pressure lanes that much. With these Aegis, I'm sure they're gonna force things a little bit more. They want to get this tier 2 and ideally put an end to this game with these Aegis. That's probably their plan. Top lane though, looks like Petsu's gonna die once again.
Yeah, Petsu.
Wait, they don't have the deck. What?
Oh, they're stopping actually defending Petsu. They're gonna go for Tanner first. Reaper Scythe. Once again, it's gonna be Petsu they kill, but Limp, he's out for blood. But Limp might get epicentered on. Ads starts charging it. Aqua does the BKB still continues to keep the chrono. Limp will finally die thanks to Ads and J4's damage. Aqua holding on to that chrono. Hoping to go instead for Ads apparently as he gets hit by the Winter's Curse. Unfortunately, the creep's too aggro to him. That's going to be a long Winter's Curse into the fireball damage, into his death. ITV will still lose 3, but they did get the Queen of Pain this time.
2,000 gold came from Limp.
That
was a gold mine waiting for. Yeah, that's really good, but there's still Aegis on Void. Things don't look that great. Also, like, Limp got level 25 as that fight happened, so the Burrow Strike from the Sand King got cancelled by the Linken's talent that he got mid-fight.
Oh.
That was clutch, because I'm pretty sure he would have more damage for the Void. They had to commit much more to the pop there.
Yep. They do have now the tower mid though, and S4, he has his axe. He's done with this game. He just wants to push. ITB though, they're not going to force these buybacks. They know they just got a golden opportunity here off the kill on Limp. They just need to be patient now. CK is finally coming into his own. Chessie defending best he can.
I'm helping. Oh, and they actually got Data, huh? All right. Kind of
they got
flex
Dagon, yeah.
turn in this build here.
I am not that sad about this though. You kind of need the extra bit of damage sometimes, right? I think Chessie constantly, he needs to use the Reaper Scythe to finish off supports, and he would rather use it, you know, for anything else. So I think Dagon is kind of okay here. I'm not that sad about it.
Definitely help with the burst damage. Now they still have this tier 2 tower, so it's really in their best interest to delay this tier 2 tower taking as much as possible, because that's how they would lose this game before the Aegis expires.
They're all showing though.
Stop though.
Use the shields for vision. That's gonna capture J4. J4's dead. Now the question though is, can they save Otakar? Otakar's been slowed. They need the help from the IO, but the healing is finally coming in with a mechanism. However, the Winter's Curse finally comes in to make sure that CK kills his partner. Without a partner, how do you survive? Apparently not for long. It's gonna be a dead CK together with the IO. Ads died in the middle of that team fight almost as collateral. And now the tier 2 can fall. Or maybe they just go for tier 4s? I think they will just be going for tier 4s. If you hit this in the middle as 4, you get splash onto both.
Yeah, Limp is way too farmed. he's pushing faster than the Void at this stage. And yeah, I mean, I think this like
buyback.
Okay.
Well, one last chance, Chessie. All right, Chessie, this is your moment to shine. Oh no! Oh wait, no, you carry. Oh no, Otakar's dying. Oh no, they use the chrono. Chessie, go save him. Do something, Chessie. Turn him ethereal. Oh no, Chessie. without the CK, I think it's over. I don't think that was the best of plays to go out with. But, you know, one last fight for the boys.